Hi Capricorn, how's it going? I hope you're doing awesome today. I'm going to do a general reading for you. I've already cleared the energy, shuffled. These are your 10 cards. This is a Celtic cross spread. I just put it in 2 rows, just it's easier for me that way. So for your first card, you have the 9 of Wands. Second card, 8 of Pentacles. And the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of your 10 cards came out reversed. When a card comes out reversed, it means you're getting extra protection from spirit. So starting from the first card, you have the 9 of Wands reversed, 8 of Pentacles reversed, Page of Swords reversed, the 2 of Pentacles, the 4 of Wands reversed, the Judgment card, the Temperance card reversed, 10 of Swords, the World, and then the Knight of Cups at the very end. Okay, so let's just, and then the overall energy, the card at the bottom of the deck was the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune represents the overall energy of your reading. This is a major arcana card. This card says that things have been set in motion. It's a card of momentum. It's a card of good luck, karma, destiny, going in a new direction. It's a card of fortune and success. It could represent soulmates and inevitable fate. This card could represent an unexpected change in your plans. You know, with the Wheel of Fortune and the World card, this is really good, Capricorn. Really good. So there may be an unexpected change in your plans. There may be a conflict of interest, or you might have an idea ready to materialize. Whatever happens will be beyond your control. This card is telling you to get ready for something new. Don't be rigid with your plans at this time. Go with the flow. You may experience some temporary chaos, but it will bring good fortune in the long run. Events will unfold in such a way that it will be impossible to miss the hand of fate in your affairs. Just be ready to make the most of it. Wheel of Fortune. Destiny, momentum. You're experiencing, it's a card of life cycles, a cycle of life going in a new direction. The Wheel of Fortune represents change, decisive moments, something major, like the World card. Something has been put in motion over which you now have little or no control. You must accept the action of the forces of destiny and align yourself with their aims. However, the outcome is generally favorable, considered generally favorable. Changing circumstances, usually for the better, will promote your growth and advancement. This card is a reminder that every period of intense activity must be followed by a restful time of inactivity. Where you are in your own personal cycle will be shown in the rest of the reading. This card almost always heralds good fortune coming as a result of what you yourself have put into motion, whether or not you're aware of what you have done to initiate the process. So maybe you've applied for a new job, met a new person, begun a romance, decided to take a college course, or had a chance encounter that got the wheel turning. It means a new phase, possibly the need to make an important decision, or even a totally unexpected circumstance developing that will change your life. Okay? So you've done something. Quit a job, made travel reservations, begun or ended a relationship, opted out of a friendship or some other situation. Take it how it resonates. Now destiny has been set in motion and all will turn out as it is intended. Again, Spirit is saying there's very little more you have to do except just go with the flow. There may be some unexpected turns of events, but they too are part of the grand plan for your life. And again, this card is the precursor of good fortune. Okay. The Wheel of Fortune is a reminder of the mysterious cycles of life, death, and rebirth. You're going through some kind of rebirth, Capricorn. You got, see, rebirth. Can you read that in the video? This is the Judgment card. Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune is a reminder of the mysterious cycles of life, death, then rebirth, and the invisible forces that measure them out to each of us. And then your first card, if I can pick it up. Your first card represents your current situation, and you have the Nine of Wands reversed. Again, when a card comes out reversed, it just means you're getting extra protection from Spirit. So this is Sagittarius energy. Your current situation, the Nine of Wands reversed. So this card, it's a general reading. I just want you to take what resonates and ignore the rest. It talks about refusing to compromise. It's a card of exhaustion, fatigue, having unsure motivations, being stubborn. It's a card of stubbornness. It's a card of rigidity, being rigid, being defensiveness, refusing to give in. It's a card of obstacles, being the last one standing. It's a card of giving up, feeling overwhelmed. But it's telling you that you still have a lot of inner resources within you. So don't give up, for sure. This card could represent someone who has a chip on their shoulder, someone who's falling at the final hurdle. There's a lack of courage, a lack of persistence, a lack of perseverance, a lack of backbone. It's a card of weakness, unexpected trouble, dropping your guard, having no fight left, being at a stalemate. It's a card of retreat, withdrawal. Your current situation message, you may be fighting a losing battle. If so, it's time to cut your losses and get out. Whatever it is, it's over, and if it hasn't worked out for you, then move on to something else. Learn whatever lessons you can from the failure and know that the wheel is always turning. Right after I talked about the Wheel of Fortune too. This card suggests that you've invested a lot in something that turned out not to be worth it after all. Could be at your job, in a relationship. Take however it resonates. It could also indicate that there is nothing you should be doing. Just step back and let time do the rest. In your exhausted state, you're likely to make a mistake. Refusing to give in, refusing to compromise, a card of adversity. Then what's crossing you, or what's challenging you, or your situation, or what it could be what you're celebrating, is the Eight of Pentacles reversed. This is Virgo energy. So this card talks about misdirected activity, feeling uninspired, having no passion. It could represent a dead-end career, having no motivation. There's a lack of quality, a rushed job, a lack of motivation. It's a card of self-development. So really work on yourself, develop yourself. If it means studying, taking more classes, whatever it means for you. Maybe you're experiencing or finding your job very repetitive or boring. It's a card of laziness, mediocrity, low skill, a dead-end job, being a perfectionist. It's a card of dissatisfaction, feeling dissatisfied. It could represent a workaholic, someone who's underqualified, mean. There's poor concentration, poor productivity. It's a card of debt, financial insecurity, overspending, materialistic, shady workmanship. It's a card of carelessness. So the Eight of Pentacles reversed can suggest that you're being a nitpicker, too much of a perfectionist, or perhaps a workaholic, or maybe you feel you're finding your job really boring and tedious at this time. So make a note of that. I think that's important. There's an indication that you have not yet mastered the necessary skills to achieve your goals. Maybe you have a desire to begin some new enterprise, some new career, project, situation, but a lack of ambition and ability or clarity prevents your success. So more effort, Spirit is saying, and or education may be necessary. And then your foundation card, the basis of your situation or foundation, you have the Page of Swords reversed. This can be you or someone in your life, or she could represent a situation, male or female, in a general reading, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. The Page of Swords is someone, okay. The Page of Swords, pages are messengers, so you may be receiving a message. You might be receiving bad or disappointing news. Maybe you're going to hear some malicious gossip. The Page of Swords reversed represents a lack of ideas, a lack of planning, someone who's defensive, is a player, plays mind games, is paranoid. They have learning difficulties. There's a lack of education with the Page of Swords. So again, maybe Spirit is saying you need to do some, do some studying or research. Page of Swords reversed, someone who has their head in the clouds, is not speaking out, someone who is blunt or abrasive. Page of Swords reversed, insulting, rude, sarcastic, scatterbrained. It's a card of manipulation, deception, someone who's all talk. This Page of Swords is someone who's having trouble getting it together. Although this young person is attractive, charming, eager, confident, clever, active, he or she isn't strictly on the right track. This page could represent someone who is sponging off others, maybe their parents or friends. It could also indicate someone who is bad-tempered and capable of spiteful action. Insecurity lies at the root of this person's actions. And then your fourth card, The Page of Swords is someone who wants to know it all, but is more interested in knowing things she or he shouldn't, or that others would rather she not know. And she or he is not likely to keep any secrets, no matter how much they promise. And then your fourth card is the Two of Pentacles. This card represents your past, but is relevant to your current situation. This is you, Capricorn, showing up in your reading. So you're weighing up the pros and cons. You're balancing resources. You're adapting. This is a card of adaptation. You're stretching resources. You're trying to find balance in your life. You're juggling life. You're juggling money. You're adapting to some kind of change. You're making responsible decisions. It's a card of flexibility again. Having multiple priorities. It's a card about time management, prioritization, adaptability, making careful considerations, using your common sense. This card promises busy times ahead. You will have a lot going on and multiple things such as projects, financial concerns, or health issues to juggle. It suggests being flexible and going with the flow. It will help you cope better. This time may be dangerous or challenging, but it's a temporary situation, so just maintain your focus and it'll be over soon enough. This card could suggest either money coming from two sources or having to juggle finances to make ends meet. It could show a financial or business partnership. It's a positive card indicating good fortune and enjoyment. You may be experiencing financial difficulty, but it won't last. Better times lie ahead. A message about money could be on its way to you. You're still in the stage of deciding which of two different options to choose. Maybe you're worried about money, or you're taking a side gig to make extra money. But Spirit is saying it's time to make a choice and stick with it, even if you aren't sure of the outcome. And then your immediate future card, what's likely to happen very soon in your life, is the Four of Wands, and it came out reversed. So Aries energy, the Four of Wands, it is about feeling unwelcome, a lack of support, a lack of success, a lack of teamwork, a lack of achievement, conflicts with others. It could also be a lack of community spirit, but it's a card of self-doubt. It's also a card of instability, home conflicts, insecurity, canceled celebrations, a community that's divided. This card is warning you not to celebrate too soon. Things appear fine, but you need to wait a bit to make sure. It could also suggest that you rethink your plans for the future. Unhappy family, a breakdown of communication with someone in your life. This card represents inner harmony, going through a transition, shared happiness, and good fortune. The Four of Wands, your immediate future. You're celebrating your good fortune in a quiet way. So maybe you're expanding your property holdings or creative output without fanfare. Financial gains may be more modest than if the card were upright, but you're satisfied with your accomplishments and the sense of having done a job well. Your public image, your relationships, and your sense of self are favorable. It's a card of, for some, feeling unwelcome, neglect, beauty, increase, being jilted, embellishment, canceled celebrations. And then the outcome that you desire most in your situation, what you want to see happen in your life, you got the Judgment card, or the rebirth card. So this card talks about being rewarded for your past efforts. It's a card of judgment, rebirth. You've had an inner calling. It's a card of absolution. You're reevaluating things. It's a card of reevaluation, decisiveness. It represents an outcome, a resolution, forgiveness. It's a card of self-evaluation, responsibility, reconciliation, going through a total transformation, having an awakening, knowing your purpose. It's a card of acceptance. You've come to accept something. It's a card of acceptance, a reckoning, a reflection. Judgment provides a call. You're being called to face your past before moving on. It's time to acknowledge whatever has happened, accept it, and let it go. You have learned so much and you've been through so much. You now have the wisdom and strength to free yourself from the past. A time for change is at hand. Perhaps a new job, a new relationship, or a new way of life. But this time, you are more in control. This is what you want. You've decided to heed the call. You have the experience and the knowledge to move forward. You just have to make your final farewells. Okay? You've had a wake-up call from the universe. You're having a personal awakening. You're turning away from a traditional set of beliefs toward one that better suits your personal philosophy of life. This card represents the end of an old way of life, a cycle that is finished. It's time to seek a new direction, to make adjustments that reflect who you truly are. This is a positive card symbolizing regeneration and rebirth after a period of confusion and confinement. Maybe you felt dead in your old life, but now you have the unique opportunity to, rebirth yourself and your environment by making the appropriate changes. It's a time of freedom for you to be yourself, Capricorn. Okay? You've had a wake-up call from the universe, and now you're ready to step into a new phase of your maturing process. Your life is fairly settled now, and you're letting things grow at a steady pace without hurrying the process. A new phase in your life is coming into being as the result of your maturity. You might be getting important news that will prove beneficial, or you may learn something new that will bring you joy and a sense of fulfillment. Your health will improve and your problems will be easily solved. And then your self-image card, how you see yourself. You have the Temperance card, or it's equilibrium on this card in this deck. The Temperance card is Sagittarius energy. So this card is about self-indulgence. It's about extremes, excess, a lack of balance in an area of your life, a lack of perspective, being restless, hastiness. It talks about realigning yourself, realignment, healing yourself, self-healing, discord, clashing, antagonism. This card implies someone whose behavior is out of control and very clearly immoderate. And it can, although rarely, suggest that an extreme stance is called for. So maybe you're dealing with this person. Interior factors are at work, but you have little or no control over them. You may be thinking about making some changes in your life. And Capricorn, I wanted to mention too that all these messages you're receiving today are from Spirit. I just channel them. They're not from me, okay? They're from Spirit. Unless I feel something very strongly in my intuition, then I would let you know it's from me. Otherwise, I just channel the messages for Spirit, okay? The next, with the Temperance card reversed, there could be a message too that Spirit is saying emotionally you may be called upon to grow up. Again, don't shoot the messenger. Even if you aren't sure just how to handle what's happening, you must make peace with the changes. This card could also indicate frustrating delays or postponements, possible loss or separation, and the need to cope with life changes. And then your environment, or how others see you in your situation, you have the Ten of Swords. Gemini energy. So this card is about destruction, some kind of destruction, ruin, failure, bitterness, collapse, exhaustion. So your 8th card, the Ten of Swords, represents your environment or how others see you in your situation. This is a difficult card. It marks the beginning of it marks the beginning of the end of a period of trials and tribulations, but it also signifies the start of a new cycle. But first you have to clear away the debris of the old cycle, and often this process is painful. Stress and exhaustion may accompany the appearance of this card. You need to make a clean break from the past and its attendant pain and suffering, whether this means a divorce, quitting a job, moving across a country, or changing a belief system. Make the break cleanly, leaving no loose ends. Do away with previous illusions that have clouded your vision, and try not to worry. Okay? This card says that in no uncertain terms, it's finally over. You've fought and worked at it, but you cannot change the situation. There's no fixing it. You may want to try one last time, but you will have to accept that this time you are beaten. It's a strange moment because you thought you'd feel a lot more pain and distress, but actually you feel calm and peaceful. Deep down you're relieved that you don't have to fight it anymore. Ten of Swords, betrayal, backstabbing, enemies, bitching, bad-mouthing, painful endings, deep wounds, loss, playing the victim, having a new understanding, having a fresh perspective, the inability to cope, hitting a wall, severing ties. It's a card of goodbyes, being a martyr, severing ties, exhaustion, attention seeking. And then your hopes and fears, what you hope for and fear the most in your situation, is the World card, last of the major arcanas. This card's all about big achievements. It's about big accomplishments. It's success. It's a big ending in your life, having a sense of belonging, a final reward. It's a card of travel, integration, completion, fulfillment, wholeness, harmony. It represents balance and support by unseen forces. It symbolizes the end of the spiritual journey. To embark upon the spiritual journey is to invite unseen forces to interact with us. These creative energies manifest in many ways and often serve as guides. Capricorn, you're entering a place of great powers and sometimes great secrets. As you interface with this world, your life will undoubtedly change. Here you connect with supreme power, not the power of the material world, but of the invisible order that supports and nourishes our world and our lives. This card is a signal that you have been guided to the successful conclusion of your spiritual journey. At this stage, the final stage, you will receive what is rightfully yours because you have earned it. You feel whole, complete, refreshed from your long journey and ready to begin anew at a higher level. Okay? This card says you will be successful in all your endeavors. Everything is available to you and all is right with the world. Whatever you do now, Capricorn, will prosper. If it's a career change, a move to another place, a new relationship, recognition, rewards, acclaim. This is the end of an old cycle and the beginning of a new one. You've mastered the complexities of your inner nature and you feel supported by your inner resources. This is a time of supreme self-confidence and victory. You put your trust where it belongs in a higher power, and now you will reap the rewards. Many possibilities and opportunities are available to you, and you're free to choose what pleases you. Okay? The world promises the wonderful conclusion of long-term projects and the realization of goals. Success, completeness, satisfaction, and fulfillment are woven into your life. This card could also indicate major trips and extensive travel. And then your future card, if all is to remain as is the Knight of Cups, Pisces energy. You're going to receive an offer or an invitation or a proposal. The Knight of Cups is someone who is dating, charming, graceful, artistic, diplomatic, imaginative, someone who follows their heart, is highly principled, is chivalrous, affectionist, warm, someone who's on a mission, someone who takes action, is gentle, caring, sensitive, artistic, imaginative. You might be swept off your feet by this Knight of Cups, okay? Male or female in a general reading, the Knight of Cups is bringing you a message about love, or he could represent your true love, the Knight on the white horse. You're deeply involved in an emotional situation to the point where little else matters. You may be awaiting this message, such as a declaration of love or a proposal of marriage, with such anticipation that everything else seems insignificant. If this knight is not a lover, he's certainly a friend who's honest, intelligent, and willing to aid you. This knight is the quintessential romantic, knight in shining armor, chivalrous, romantic, fiercely loyal, dreamy, appealing, sensitive, emotional. He loves art, has a deep appreciation for all beautiful things. He's a bit of a distracted daydreamer. He may not take action because he's too busy daydreaming. He may be too shy to ask you out, but once he takes you out, he'll make you feel like a princess. Common sense is probably not one of his virtues. So this is either you or someone in your life, or it could represent receiving an offer. He's also a bit jealous. Jealousy could be a negotiator, a mediator, but you may be receiving an offer or a proposal, an invitation within the next 3 to 6 months of something. So that is your reading, Capricorn. I hope you got some insider guidance from these messages. Thank you for letting me channel them for you. I'm really grateful. I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Bye.